One, two, three. One, two, three. Hello, my name is Peterson, and this is going to be a overview and a demonstration of a music layering system I made in Unity. To begin, these are the four fields that you will have access to, whether you're the sound implementer, the composer, or the programmer. This is what will be shown in the inspector. So the audio stems, which is the actual clips that you'll be putting, it's inside an array. So all you do is put them in each index of the array, and that's it. We also have the fade in time and the fade out time. Notice that these are for the starting the system as well as increasing or decreasing the system. If you want to adapt it to make it have separate values for starting and increasing, you could easily change it as well. Lastly, if you are using the Unity audio mixer group, you could also set it as a mixer group to give your audio some organizations in it. So the way the system starts is that on awake, it will initialize, which basically means it will spawn all the audio sources, which depends on how many audio stems you put inside the system. If you don't put any, you'll get a warning that will let you know about it. And then as it's iterating through all the stems, as it's spawning, the initialization will be that it will not play on awake. It will loop. The assumption is that your tracks are already set to be looped, and then each clip will be set to its own audio source. And this is where it sets the audio mixer group. If you don't put anything, then it's fine. It'll just continue on as normal. Uh, this code, sorry, I live next to traffic. This code is basically giving you a reference to another array, which will be how the system is running later on. So to start the music system, um, we are using coroutines, which basically means we're using I enumerators. So notice that there's a method here called fade in music stem. Let's go to that real quick. So fade in music stem takes in a audio source and the transition time. And basically within that transition time, it is increasing the volume from 0 to the music volume max. I currently set the music volume max to 1.0, but for some reason, if you want to change it to another value, you're free to do that as well. In fact, if you want to make the music volume max different for each stem, you could easily make that a parameter and do that yourself as well. Uh, and the fade out music stem works the same way. It will start at the music volume max and then go down to 0. Uh, by using I enumerators, it makes the code a bit easier to read rather than using some sort of timer system in the update function. It also reduces calls because we're not calling the update function every single frame. So, yes, that's for fading in. We talked about starting. And then for stopping, basically all the audio sources will be fading out inside using the fade out time. Uh, another extra thing is that there's a little helper method that after all the music is faded out, all the music sources will stop. So it's not muted, it's actually stopped. So when you start it again, it will start from the beginning. If you notice that there's this code, music system is on, this is basically a little helper to check to stop any bugs, such as let's say you somehow wanted to increase the music intensity, but you already stopped it. this will cover that and make sure there's no hidden bugs or errors in the system. Uh, and then finally, in the update function, there's some code to test it out. I would really recommend, if you're not going to use it, to delete it or basically comment it out, um, because these are probably being used by the actual game's input system. So you don't want to make any errors or mistakes. But for now, I will be using it like this for the demonstration. And that's it. That's the overview. One, two, three. One, two, three. Okay. And now this is the demonstration part of the code. All you would need is the script and whatever your layers are. For this is my own music that I made for a game last fall called Skyreach, Operation Skyreach. Uh, just a quick listen through. There's a bass layer, a drum layer, a guitar, as well as a little pad section as well. Well, the pads from the synth, and then a plucky synth section as well. Sorry. Um, but yeah, let's get this demonstration started. So the way I would approach it is to create an empty game object. There's a million ways you could set it up. I would recommend talking to your programmer first. This is just one way that I would do it. So I would create an empty game object, make sure it's on 000 in the transform, and then I would name it music layers system. Maybe if you want to have a little bit more detail, you could put, let's say, battle music, something like that. Although my music isn't really made for battle, but it's fine. Um, so let's get rid of that, and then put the music layer system inside the game object. Let's say I want the fade in time to be about 5 seconds, the fade out time to be about 5 seconds, and the music mixer group, I'm gonna put it for music. Ignore these. We're just gonna put it at the top level of the music system. So yeah, about these values, about 5 seconds each, and then let's put the audio stems. So technically, I personally don't care about what order these these stems be, but of course, let's say a typical composer will care about uh, what type of music goes first for each intensity. So I have 5 stems. So I'm gonna click on this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I want the first thing to play to be the drums, let's say. And then to increase intensity, I want the bass. And then next up, let's say guitar. And then the plucky synths. And then lastly, the pads to finish out the intensity. And then that would be it. That's it. I'm gonna close it to collapse it. And then if you noticed inside the testing, I put the the methods into specific keys. So Q, W, E, and R. So basically, we could start now and press play. All right. So notice that the audio sources are now spawned in and they're set to each clip. We did the initialization already. We set the output to music. So now let's go to our game and I'm going to press Q to start the system. And the drums are playing. Let's uncollapse the stem so you can see from here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Q again. I press Q and nothing happened because the way I've made the system is that it will not start again once it's already starting. So now let's increase the layers by 2. So I'm gonna press W. Now you can hear the bass. I'm gonna press W again to increase it again. And then I'm gonna put it to the highest level by pressing W 2 times. So notice you get a comment here that lets you know that if you already reached the highest intensity. So if you try to increase it, nothing will happen. You'll just get a comment warning you about that. Now let's lower the intensity back down to the drums. Actually, let's wait a bit because the drums are not playing at this point. All right, now let's decrease the intensity. And now it's just the drums again. And let's increase the intensity to max again. And then let's stop the system. And then now it's stopping. And yeah, that is the overview of the system.